Supporting ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. President Trump is expected to hold a rally in Pennsylvania today to tout his administration's efforts to lower the cost of living. Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
The president is saying that prices went up under former President Biden, and Democratic policies did not do much to bring them down.
We inherited a mess, affordability, but you can call it affordability or anything you want, but the Democrats caused the affordability problem, and we're the ones that are fixing it. So it's a very simple statement. They caused it, we're fixing it.
That argument, though, does not appear to be resonating with a large swath of the country because Fox News polls show about twice as many voters blame President Trump rather than Biden for the current economy.
Heritage Foundation's E.J. Antoni on what Trump should talk about on affordability.
Well, I think he needs to continue to do his deregulatory agenda, his tax cut agenda. These are things that are going to have a real impact on consumers' paychecks, and it's going to have a real impact on what those paychecks can actually buy. We saw, for example, just recently the reforms to cafe standards, where we're not going to impose these ridiculous regulations saying that basically everyone is going to be forced to drive an electric car in just a few years. That would have pushed up costs dramatically for consumers. The administration has rolled back those Biden-era regulations.
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials report that Illinois authorities have released over 1,700 criminal illegal aliens with active ICE detainers since January, a practice drawing significant public safety concerns and political criticism. Illinois is considered a sanctuary state, meaning its state and local law enforcement agencies are generally restricted from complying with ICE detainer requests. This is Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons.
People talk about ICE being on the streets and making more arrests. If we just had elected officials in these sanctuary jurisdictions work with us to turn over these criminally legal aliens, our neighborhoods would be so much safer. President Trump and Secretary Noem have taken the handcuffs off of us now. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to enforce the Immigration Nationality Act. We're not going to turn a blind eye to these collaterals.
Representative Jasmine Crockett wants to be Senator Jasmine Crockett. The Texas Democrat made it official yesterday. Democrats think they have a shot at winning the seat in the deep red state, but Republicans are hoping past comments from Crockett come back to haunt her.
I know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
This ridiculous tyrant is trying to do everything that he can to break our democracy.
It's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard.
GOP strategist Vinnie Menahillo said the ticket to beating Crockett is to let her speak.
Yeah, and I think what you just played there is one of the most important things in this campaign, is that she's done all the hard work. There are hours and hours and hours of video of her saying crazy things. So you talked about, how do we attack a woman? How do we attack a black woman? You don't. You let her do it in her own words. And she's really done all the hard work.
And a Texas pro-family activist says this woman has no chance of becoming a U.S. senator.
Jasmine Crockett has developed a reputation of being one of the most outspoken Democrat attack dogs against President Trump. Now the Dallas area congresswoman has launched her campaign for the U.S. Senate, currently held by Republican John Cornyn, who is seeking re-election. Crockett was expected to face a tough re-election bid now that the Supreme Court has upheld the new congressional redistricting map. Kathy Adams is a former chairman of the Republican Party of Texas and serves as second vice president of Eagle Forum. She thinks Crockett's Senate bid is a joke.
Passes no legislation. She speaks with no wisdom. And the woman now is not going to have a seat in the Congress, one of 435. And so now she wants to be one of 100 in the U.S. Senate. I think that what polls will show is that we're voting for anybody but Jasmine Crockett. She has made a fool of herself and a fool of Texans for voting for her. We're not interested in her being our U.S. Senator.
A recent poll by Change Research shows Crockett trailing both Cornyn and Attorney General Ken Paxton, who is challenging the incumbent in the GOP primary. I'm Chad Groening.
For American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh.
Every day, AFA offers biblical insight on issues that others aren't willing to touch in the hopes that you'll become a world changer. That's why we're offering an in-depth worldview training course called Activate. 13 different professors teaching 18 sessions, all available online, including a printed workbook to help you apply what you've learned and 1-year access to AFA streaming content to give you even more resources. Find out more about Activate and sign up today at activate.afa.net.
Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR on this Tuesday, December the 9th, 2025. And we have a studio panel here gathered, and one gentleman who's always with us most Tuesdays and Thursdays is actually in the studio. Good morning, Ray Pritchard.
Good morning, Tim. How you doing today?
Welcome to Tupelo.
Hey, listen, you always want to ask me about Florida. 3 days ago, Saturday, it was 81 degrees. I was in a T-shirt and shorts, tooling around the property in my golf cart, right? Like all the folks do.
Right.
And I come here to Tupelo.
Well,
man, it's frigid. It's frigid here.
But where you live now, we're quite way up north.
That's right. That's right. This is way
Even though
up
we're
north.
in the deep south.
That's right.
He called me a Yankee when he saw me today.
That's right.
Yeah. Chris Woodward. Good morning, Chris.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you.
Fred Jackson.
Good to be with you.
Yes, so let me just check here, like old people do. I'm 62 and a half. You start checking the weather all the time. So it's 38 here in Tupelo. I've got let's see, Kansas City, where your summertime home.
That's right.
Is, let's see, what is that right now? Kansas City's 43.
Ooh.
It's warmer in KC than Tupelo.
This is wrong. Something has gone upside down with the weather.
And if we get in our car and go down to the sunny state of Florida, let's see what we got in Hudson, Florida right now. Let's see, so Ray left 60. It's 60 right now.
Okay.
But you left 60 going up to 66, I think. So, yeah, it's but you lived all over the country, had you?
That's right. And 17 years in Chicago. So, so really,
Right. It's all relative, right?
It's all relative. That's right. It's good to be here, Tim.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for coming and being with us. So we have our board meeting today for our ministry, and so Ray's in town for that, and he's in studio, and we're delighted to have him with us. Dr. Frank Turek will come be with us at 10:30 Central Time, so we look forward to visiting with Frank. He's the host of I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist, which is heard weekends here on American Family Radio. Dr. Frank Turek. So, Ray, tell everybody about the offer you have for Keep Believing Ministries, which is your ministry.
We are right in the middle of our Advent series called Behold the Lamb, Advent from the Gospel of John. And every day, we are sampling a little bit about what John tells us about who Jesus is and why he came. We're just working our way up toward Christmas Day. And I know a lot of our AFR listeners have joined us. If you would like to download the ebook, it's all, you could order the print thing from Amazon, but why do that? Just go to keepbelieving.com, and right there on the front page, it says download your free copy of Behold the Lamb. You can get it PDF or EPUB or Mobi, which is really for Kindle. Just go to keepbelieving.com. Love to have our AFR listeners join us as we journey with John toward the birth of our Lord.
Still time to catch up. It's December 9th, so right? So
that's right.
Still got time to catch up there. Or join midway through there. So go to where and do what now again to get this free?
Keepbelieving.com.
Okay.
And right on the front page, right there,
right,
it'll say download your free copy of Behold the Lamb. Just follow the prompts and click on the version you want. It will download right to your laptop or right to your phone.
Neat.
Now, let me ask you a question, and I got 1,000 questions about Christmas. It's such a fascinating story. But let me ask you this question about relative to the wise men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we've talked about this before. Maybe I ask this question every year, but I'm just so the three wise men, right? Oftentimes, when we see the nativity scene, we see the shepherds and the wise men together.
That's right.
At worshiping Jesus, right?
That's right.
And I think I'm not saying that people are necessarily ignorant, but a lot of churches may do that just to.
It's a beautiful.
It's a beautiful
it's
scene.
A beautiful,
okay, they don't mean anything radical about their.
Because the shepherds did come.
Yeah,
did come. Yeah. The Magi did come.
That's right. That's right.
They all came.
But we know that the shepherds came the night of the birth.
That's exactly right.
So when did the wise men come?
Sometime later.
Or the Magi.
Sometime later. Fred, how long a time do you want to say?
I've heard a couple of years.
Yeah.
And because at that point, obviously, the family, Mary, Joseph, and Jesus weren't in the manger anymore.
That's right. They were in a house.
But they were in a house. But they hadn't gone to Egypt yet either.
No, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Not
so
yet.
sometime between the birth and the time they flee to go to Egypt because Herod's threat.
Right. And remember, Herod said, kill all the baby boys of Bethlehem under the age of 2.
Yes.
Okay.
So he had figured out something. So it's sometime later. Could it have been 6 months later or a year later? Sometime 12, 18 months later, they were out of the stable. They were into a home, and the wise men come from Persia.
Yes.
Modern day Iran.
Mm-hmm.
And though you can't really prove what I'm going to say, I think there's good evidence that this goes all the way back to Daniel chapter 5.
Amen.
To Daniel, who was named as the head over all the astrologers and all the magicians, and the word is magi.
Yeah.
It's in the Greek version of Daniel, it's magi.
Mm-hmm.
I think Daniel explained it to those the Persian leaders back 500 years earlier. And Tim, I think they passed it down from one generation to another, to another, to another, so that when they saw the star in the sky, they said, yeah, this is what Daniel was talking about.
Yeah.
And it was the Lord who arranged Daniel, put him there. It was the Lord who put the star in the sky. And it was the Lord who led them all the way. It's a dangerous, difficult journey.
Yes.
To come from Persia. I mean, today, you know.
Talking about 1,000 miles.
Yes. And you're talking the camels and the caravan and in many, many weeks many months probably to make a journey like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be modern day Iran, right?
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or in that area.
Were the shepherds and the wise men together at the same time? Almost certainly the answer is no. Is it okay to do that in a Christmas play? Yes, it is. Yes, it's because they were all there, just not at the same time.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've mentioned this before, and then we'll move on to our interview here. But the one of the most we had a Christmas pageant at the church I attended, and my family went to. We had a pet pageant for, 10 years or so, maybe longer, and there's a big deal in the Tupelo area. Okay. So we would have 3,000 people come through on a 3 or 4 day, about 4 or 5 day period. Okay, it's roughly something like that. But the scene I'll never forget was not very spiritual. Okay, and that is the live camel.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Have y'all heard this before?
No.
If I tell you this,
no.
So we had live camels. I'm talking about camels. This guy brought camels in from I don't know where, Texas or somewhere, and used them for the pageant. So live animals. And the camel, this one particular camel, comes walking down the middle of the aisle.
Oh no!
You know, with the with magi or whatever like that. So we got these dressed out ladies, old elderly ladies, bless their hearts. They had come for the pageant.
Oh, no.
I don't know if they'd come from the senior home or whatever. Like that.
No.
But they were there, and they were in their Sunday best. And this camel, don't know where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
This camel.
I'm worried about
camels, their mouth, they're chewing like cows all the time. You know what I'm saying? And that camel whipped his head around when he turned back toward the audience. And I don't mean to gross people out, but here comes the what do you call it? Spit.
The
the stuff that's coming out of a camel's mouth
Oh no!
Oh yeah, it just wipes out the first two rows of these ladies.
There goes the pageant right there.
And it's just like, well, do you laugh at this?
What do you do?
What's the right emotion?
The Bible
to have?
says there is a time to laugh.
That's
Well,
right.
it was hilarious. You laugh if it didn't happen to you.
That's right. The ladies were not laughing.
These little old ladies who had come from the, in their van from the Pleasant Hill Senior Retirement Home.
Oh no!
They weren't happy, Fred. They weren't the Christmas spirit after this particular incident.
I looked it up here, and according to the internet, they can spit up to about 120 feet. So if you're going to a Christmas pageant, don't sit up front or even in the back.
This hit Blue Hair up 20 feet. Okay, I'm telling you. Huh? Am I right? Just boom, right there.
So
it
what
was.
did they do the next year?
Oh no, I don't know how they kept that from every. That was like a freak thing. I don't think camels normally just walk around doing that.
Plexiglass like at a hockey
This
game.
camel just maybe the lights hit the camel in the eyes the right way, and he just said, "You know what? I'm going to show my appreciation to all these people who come out here." So anyway, and man, that's better than other things happening by camels in the middle of a show.
I was just going to say, yeah.
I don't remember that happening.
There's a risk with live animals.
There's a reason you put the horses at the end of the Christmas parade. Yes.
Anyway. That's that's one of those things you'll never forget as long as you live.
Yeah, I can understand.
We just want to be a blessing, folks. That's why we're here.
What y'all talk about today? Oh, camels spit on some old lady.
There is risk with live animals inside a building, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. You're listening to today's issues on American Family Radio. Maybe one day we just need to open up the phone lines and let people tell their
stories,
their pageant stories. Because we all got them.
We all
right?
got them. That's right.
Who was it that maybe it was Dennis Swanberg. Everybody knows who Dennis Swanberg is.
Mm-hmm.
He tells Dennis Swanberg's hilarious anyway. But he tells this story about a church he was at where something about the angel was supposed to come down, from above, and it fell through the ceiling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
The angel fell through the ceiling. Fortunately, nobody was hurt seriously, but it was a moment.
Boy, I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, I know, right? That wasn't in the script.
No.
Huh? All right. You're listening to today's issues on AFR. Tim, Fred, Ray. Ray's in the studio with us, and Chris. And Dr. Frank Turek joins us now. Frank is with has the program I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist, heard weekends on American Family Radio at 9 o'clock Central Time on Saturdays, and then again on Sunday afternoons at 4 o'clock Central Time. All right, Frank, how you doing, brother?
That's why I never bring camels to church.
He didn't have enough faith to bring a camel.
All right, have you ever seen anything like that in a Christmas pageant or an Easter pageant or something like that?
I haven't seen it. I've heard about it, and it can be embarrassing. But hey, they know if it's a live display, these things are going to happen.
I know.
These things are not potty trained.
Oh man! All right then. So what have you been doing since last week? We talked to you.
Well, I attended and spoke at the TPUSA donor event down in Mar-a-Lago this weekend. Erica invited me to come down and pray and do a little tribute to Charlie, so that was good. It was good to see how many people.
Was Trump there?
No, he was in D.C. We wouldn't allow him to come home. No, he had events in D.C. He was giving awards to like Sylvester Stallone this weekend.
Yeah.
And
it was the Kennedy Center Awards.
What's that?
It was the Kennedy Center Awards annual, where they give awards to entertainers, basically lifetime achievement awards. And Sylvester Stallone, you're right, was one of them. With Kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Ed would like that. And Kiss, and then anyway, a couple of others. George Strait, the country singer.
Nice
country singer. I think Kiss and George Strait did a duet. So
Rainy Days and Mondays.
That was pretty interesting to see.
Are they both wearing makeup now?
I'm absolutely lying through my teeth. The idea of Kiss and George Strait doing a duet. Now that's funny. Right there. But anyway, that's why President. But Mar-a-Lago, I'm just curious. You were there. That is that's the home where President Trump lives when he's not in D.C. But is it like a community? It's not a house per se, is it, Mar-a-Lago?
Well, it's a club that people can be a part of. And I didn't see the whole place, but they have this amazing ballroom, which is where a lot of people hold events, and that's where the TPUSA event was.
I got you.
Saturday and Sunday night. It may have been the same room. I'd have to go back and check, but it may have been the same room that Trump gave his election night.
Yeah, it was. I think so.
Speech. Is that the room he was in?
Well, it's a room that he's had a lot of pictures taken there over the years. With the ballroom, as it were, where they. So I just want it's sort of like a country club.
Yes,
is what it is. I got you.
And I mean, it's spectacular grounds, and the ballroom is spectacular. That ballroom, the one that Trump is building at the White House, I don't know how big it is, but that ballroom can easily hold 700-800 people.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Never seen anything like it. That's right.
All right, so let's see. Our topic for you today is what to say when people ask for non-Christian sources about Jesus. Talk about that.
Well, here's the shortest answer. The Bible is a non-Christian source. All the New Testament documents were written by Jews. They weren't written by, they became Christians, but the question is, why would these Jews become Christians? Why would they invent a resurrected Jesus who claimed to be God and rose from the dead if it didn't happen? Did they invent this so they could get themselves kicked out of the synagogue and then beaten, tortured, and killed? The last time I checked, that was not a list of perks. All right? So when people say, well, I can't believe it because it's a Christian source, I say, it's not a Christian source. It's a Jewish source. Source is. The New Testament documents have between 8 and 9 writers. We just don't know who wrote Hebrews, so that's our big question mark. But they're all Jew. Even scholars are admitting now it looks like Luke was a Jew. They're all Jews. And even if Luke was a Gentile, the other 7 or 8 writers are all Jews. Why are they inventing this? They're not. It really happened. Now there are non-biblical sources outside the Bible. There's like 10 of them within 150 years of Jesus' life.
Like what?
Well, Josephus, Jewish historian, Tacitus, Suetonius, Thallus, Phlegon. These are all household names, I know. But these are either, Roman historians or people that were alive and prominent at the time within 150 years of Jesus' life. They all mention Jesus or his followers.
So you're just to be clear, so people understand, you're talking about people that who were historians within, you said, 150 years of the time of Jesus, who wrote about him.
Sure, they may have mentioned things about him. Okay. Even the Jewish Talmud says that he was hung on the eve of the Jewish Passover for practicing sorcery.
Okay, so that proves that Jesus Christ did exist and really lived, and it's not. I know. Yeah. I've never doubted that, but a lot of people would say, "How do you know he really?" If all you're basing this on is the Bible to confirm the Bible, then give me something outside the Bible, and you're saying they do exist, and you've listed the name of some historians who reference the life of Jesus.
Yeah, they do exist, but when people say that you can't use the Bible, what they're misunderstanding is the Bible is a collection of independent sources that were compiled and put under one binding later. So they are, you can leave for the sake of argument at this point, when you're talking to a skeptic or a non-Christian, you could leave the what's the word I'm looking for? The doctrine of inspiration outside of the discussion. We're not treating these as if they're inspired word of God documents at this point. We're just looking at them as historical texts. They were later collected and put under one binding, but they're written by different people at different times in the first century from different places. And they show us what, first of all, Jesus said and did. Those are the Gospels. Then how the church how these new believers spread their beliefs around the ancient world. That's the book of Acts. And sort of congruent with that are the letters, the epistles, which is basically how to live the Christian life as Paul and others are writing to churches and individuals in that, say, 30-year period between, say, 33 AD and about 62 AD, or all the way up to, say, maybe the late 60s AD. Those are the letters. Those are the epistles from Romans on. And then, of course, you have the consummation of all things. It's the book of Revelation. So these are all documents written by either eyewitnesses or people that knew eyewitnesses. And you don't have to look at them as some sort of religious text. And in fact, I like to say this: when you look at the New Testament documents and you realize that no one had any motivation to invent a resurrection, they didn't get the big three things that people will lie to get. Like they'll lie to get sex, money, and power, right? Those are the big three temptations. People will lie, people will cheat, people will steal to get sex, money, and power. But they're not going to lie, cheat, and steal to get beaten, tortured, and killed. All right? So I like to say this, that the New Testament writers did not create the resurrection. The resurrection created the New Testament writers. You wouldn't have these documents written by Jews in the first century claiming a man claimed to be God and rose from the dead unless a man really did claim to be God and really did rise from the dead, because the Jews had everything to lose by saying that was true, not everything to gain. They didn't get anything. They got everything negative temporally from saying Jesus had resurrected from the dead. They got kicked out of the synagogue and then beaten, tortured, and killed. They didn't get sex, they didn't get money, they didn't get power. So you can look at these documents from that perspective and realize, wow, this is not a religious inspired source. We don't have to assume that. It turns out to be, but we don't have to assume that going in.
Right, go ahead.
Frank, let me ask you about Josephus, because you mentioned him earlier, famous Jewish historian. Just give us a couple of sentences about who was Josephus and how close was he to the events of the life of Christ? And in essence, what did he have to say that helps us think about who Jesus really was?
Yeah, Jesus is referenced by Josephus in two places. He has a couple of paragraphs or a long paragraph on Jesus in one of his works. And then later in the same work, I think they're both antiquities, if I'm not mistaken, he mentions Jesus in relation to his half-brother James, who is essentially martyred by the Sanhedrin in 62 AD. He's thrown off the Temple Mount, James is, and then he's stoned to death. This is the same guy that wrote the book of James, the half-brother of Jesus. But Josephus was a Jewish historian who was born in 37 AD, and he took up arms against the Romans when the Jews tried to rebel against the Romans between 66 AD and 70 AD. And in 67 AD, instead of committing suicide like his colleagues did when he was surrounded by the Romans, he gave himself up and somehow won favor with the Roman emperor and became an historian, a Jewish man. He became an historian and wrote really at the behest of Rome. And so he wrote these works in the late first century. So Josephus was almost a contemporary of Jesus. He was born, say, 4 years after Jesus died and rose again. But he was a contemporary of somebody like James and may have actually seen the execution of James. For all we know, he may have been in Jerusalem at the time. So he is seen as the premier historian of the first century that helps us know what happened outside of what the New Testament documents say in that area in the first century.
Are you going to be covering that this weekend, this topic?
This weekend we're going to have the great Lee Strobel on, who has a new movie coming out next week about miracles. It's going to be in theaters, so we're going to be talking about miracles, including the miracle of the incarnation and the resurrection.
Okay, so that's Saturday morning, right here on this radio station at 9 o'clock Central Time. Dr. Frank Turek, our guest right now, will have Lee Strobel as his guest on the I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist radio program. That's Saturday morning, 9 o'clock Central Time. And Sunday afternoon, again, we re-air the show at 4 p.m. Central Time. All right, Frank, take care. Have a great day, my friend.
Don't tell me what to do.
And his friend. That's it. A friendly guy, that Frank Turek. We'll be back in a few moments. Stay with us.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildmon.
You know, we have problems in life, and problems that we need to stand up to. And if you're to stand up to those problems, you need to convince yourself that absolutely nothing in life can defeat you unless you're willing to let it. Many times, when faced with trying problems which life has put in our path, we feel that we are at the end of our rope. I've felt that way many times, and I know you have too. What should a person do when he gets to the end of his rope? Hang on! That's what the rope is there for. A wit has put into poetry the tale of two frogs that had gotten to the end of their rope. One hung on, the other didn't. Here's the story of their plight. Listen carefully. Two young frogs from inland bogs had spent the night in drinking. As morning broke and they awoke, while still their eyes were blinking, a farmer's pail came to the swale and caught them quick as winking. Ere they could gather scattered senses or breathe a prayer for past offenses, that Granger grand, that guiltless man, had dumped them in the milkman's can. They quickly find their breath will stop unless they swim up on the top. They swim for life, they kick and swim until their weary eyes grow dim. Their muscles ache, their breath grows short, and gasping speaks one weary sport, "Say, oh dear, I've had enough of life. No more I'll try it. Sweet milk is not my diet." "Tut, tut, my lad," the other cries, "a frog's not dead until he dies. Let's keep on kicking, that's my plan. We yet may see outside this can." "No use, no use," faint heart replies, turns up his toes and gently dies. Now the brave frog, undaunted still, kept kicking with a right good will, until with joy too great to utter, he found he'd churned a pound of butter. And climbing up on this hunk of grease, he floated to town with the greatest ease. Now the moral of the story is this. When in your Christian life you find you've grown weary of the toilsome grind, don't get discouraged and go down, but struggle on, no murmur utter. A few more kicks may bring the butter. If you refuse to be bigger than the problems which life sends your way, those problems will defeat you. But if you can grow bigger than your problems, you'll always have them on the run. If someone were to ask me what my Christian faith does for me, I should have to reply that it gives me the strength to stand up to life. I have the strength to face all conditions by the power that Christ gives me. That's what Paul said. That's a favorite verse of mine. Whatever else the Christian faith does, it gives a person power to stand up to life. I have experienced that truth in my own life many times, and I've seen it experienced in the lives of other people who would otherwise have been defeated.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildmon, a production of the American Family Association.
Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there's any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Psalm 139, 23, and 24.
American Family Radio. This is today's issues. Email your comments to comments@afr.net. Past broadcasts of today's issues are available for listening and viewing in the archive at afr.net. Now, back to more of today's issues.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Thanks for listening to AFR. I'm Tim with Fred. Ray is here with us. Ray Pritchard is in studio with us, and Chris Woodward. We thank you for listening to American Family Radio. Well, fellas, before we move back into the hard news, the 4 finalists for the Heisman Trophy have been announced. So the finalists are Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza.
Right. He's a strong Christian, right?
I think so.
He mentioned God in his victory speech Sunday or over the weekend.
Well, and I've heard
also,
him.
He's an excellent quarterback.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Oh, yeah. Vanderbilt Commodore quarterback Diego Pavia.
Right? Very good.
Yeah.
Best quarterback they've ever had.
He's a magician.
For sure.
Yeah,
Watch
he is.
him play. And then Notre Dame Fighting Irish running back Jeremiah Love. Maybe he'll get some love in D.C. at the
after the attention
in
they've
Washington,
gotten for
New York
not
City,
making the playoff. Yes.
And then and then Ohio State Buckeyes quarterback Julian Sayin. His last name is S-A-Y-I-N.
Just saying.
What if his parents had named him Justin?
Justin, right? Justin.
And they would have never known by the year 2025. The expression "just saying" would be as popular as it is today. But that's his last name, S-A-Y-I-N.
So who you got of those four? I got to pick, so I want to hear yours.
If I were to vote, I'd vote for the Indiana quarterback, Mendoza. Listen, all these guys, they wouldn't be in New York if they weren't all excellent.
Right.
You could pick any one of them, and it'd be hard to argue with it.
Yeah.
Right.
That the Pavia.
That's who I got.
He lost to two good teams.
Yeah.
They weren't bad losses.
Yeah, you can vote for him. I don't got a problem with
if he doesn't come to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt.
No, you don't hear about Vanderbilt.
No.
He doesn't. He single-handedly, with that coach, Clark Lee, turned Vanderbilt around.
Yeah. Same way with Indiana quarterback.
Well, that's true.
Mendoza, he transferred from the University of California, and it made
that's a hard choice then.
Yeah, it gave Indiana,
that's a hard choice.
National stage. Yeah, they're all excellent.
Who are the last two?
The running back from Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love.
Excellent.
And Ohio State quarterback, Julian Sayin. But I don't think either one of those guys are going to win. It's going to be between Mendoza and Pavia.
Yeah, I think it'll end up being Mendoza just purely because they're in the playoff.
Right.
They had this great year. It's not fair. I would say Pavia is probably the most valuable player in football just because of what he did to Vanderbilt.
But who would have ever thought maybe the end of the world is near? When you've got quarterbacks for Indiana and Vanderbilt challenging for the Heisman Trophy, that might be in the book of Revelation.
This is a sign right here, friends. Right here.
Right. That the end is near. All right, so we'll see what happens there with that. Those four gentlemen being invited to New York City for the most prestigious award in college athletics. Yes.
I think somebody that should have at least had been invited, and it's a shame that he was not. And I'm an MSU Bulldog. I will be buried in a maroon suit with a cowbell under a tombstone that says Hell State. But somebody that should have at least been invited is the Ole Miss quarterback.
Yeah.
He didn't play the first two games,
Trinidad
and therefore they're holding it. But that kid was
Chambliss.
phenomenal, and what he did to the Bulldogs in the Egg Bowl is
he's a true story for a movie.
Yeah.
Because the quarterback for Ole Miss, he was in a Division II or III school last year.
Ferris State.
Yeah, wasn't even recruited. He grew up in Michigan, wasn't even recruited.
Yeah.
And now he's like leading a team to the playoffs, the NCAA playoffs.
Best season they've ever had.
Yeah, the Ole Miss quarterback. Yeah, he's you're right. That's a story. He could have been easily invited to New York City for the Heisman Trophy.
Robbed.
All right, we're not talking hockey, so Fred's not very interested over here, evidently.
No, I'm just picking up the information.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. You're listening to today's Issues on American Family Radio. What's your next story, Chris?
Well, this evening, President Donald Trump is going to be in Pennsylvania to kick off a nationwide tour of stops talking about his economic policies and how they'll help continue to bring prices down. I say continue to bring prices down because if you watch the White House press briefings like we do in the newsroom, they have long said, Caroline Leavitt has said for weeks, months really, that the president's policies are helping to bring prices down. Eggs are down, gas is down, several things are down. But some people, including Democrats, are still saying he hasn't done enough. He's the guy in charge, and he didn't bring down prices like he campaigned he would. But President Trump says, look, the policies, the problems that I'm trying to fix were actually caused by Joe Biden, who, according to Donald Trump, didn't do anything about price problems. Clip one.
We inherited a mess. Affordability, but you can call it affordability or anything you want, but the Democrats caused the affordability problem, and we're the ones that are fixing it. So it's a very simple statement. They caused it, we're fixing it.
I would say that some of the criticism of President Trump is a little too early. He has not been in office yet. Some people are saying he spent too much time during the summer focusing on trying to bring an end to the war between Israel and Hamas and Ukraine and Russia. I think the news media is somewhat to blame there because things have been going on behind the scenes. The Energy Department specifically has been doing things to open up and increase more oil and gas. If we bring down the price of gas, and it's cheaper today than it was 5 years ago, if we continue to bring in more oil and gas to bring down the cost of energy, it's going to help bring down prices even further. I think it's premature to criticize him for not doing enough, if you were to ask me.
I think there is a perception driven by the Democrats and the mainstream media that things are a mess out there, economically speaking. So people say that, Trump, this visit to Pennsylvania this evening is the first act in what is going to go on over the next several months. We're leading into the midterms. And he plans his boss at the White House. I saw her quoted this morning. I think he calls her his boss. He is going to be on the road for the next several months. And don't forget, a lot of the things that were in the big, beautiful bill are going to be kicking in next year. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. All of these things are going to start manifesting themselves. People are going to see the benefits of all of this. He's talked about, people, middle income, lower income people, getting a check in the mail based on the tariffs, that sort of thing. So all of that's going to start happening early in the new year. But,
you need to go work for the White House, Fred. If Carolyn Levitt, if she retires,
that was a good answer, Fred.
You just hit all the Trump high points there.
Well,
now, I'm not saying that you're making it up. I'm just saying that's a good synopsis.
That is going to be the plan for the election year.
Can I add one other thing here?
Yeah.
I don't often get to share my opinion in news stories, so this is my time and I take it. Okay. Democrats saying he hasn't done anything about prices. He said he was going to do this and he hasn't. He lied to you, all these other things. These people didn't say diddly squat about price problems under Joe Biden.
Of course.
And they had years to raise a stink about it, and they didn't. Yeah. Now that somebody is in the White House they don't like, it's a problem, and he's to blame.
Do people around the country understand diddly squat? What that means?
That's a good.
Is that you travel the country? If you were to go to Oregon and say diddly squat, would they know what you mean?
I'll be in Oregon this weekend. Maybe I'm gonna work that in diddly squat.
I'm fixing to explain it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's a good English word. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well,
I just wonder.
You're from our part of the country.
I think that's universally understood, but I'm not sure.
Let me see if it's in the dictionary yet.
Fred, would you hear diddly squat in Nova Scotia?
I've heard that for years.
Canada, they even use diddly squat in Canada.
It is in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which means it is a word.
Kaboom.
What does it mean, Chris?
The least amount, anything at all. Example sentence: my mother never gave my daddy diddly squat for Valentine's Day. That is the example they give in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. So
there you
Somebody's bitter.
So diddly squat is a term understood by all Americans and Canadians, by the way.
Absolutely.
According to Fred, diddly squat.
But, just one more point, the gas prices. I'm looking where I am right now in Tupelo. I can get it for $2.34 regular. Mm-hmm. That's a whole lot better than it was just a year ago, let alone 3 or 4 years ago.
And odds are it will get cheaper because gas prices, no matter who's in office, most times, gas prices do tend to get cheaper during the winter months. So we might even be seeing cheaper prices going into like MLK Day or going into Valentine's Day.
And don't forget the gas prices have been connected to the prices of groceries because, trucks that are used to carry the groceries to the grocery store had to pay a whole lot more for fuel. So we should start seeing a benefit out of that as time goes on.
Yeah. I have noticed the price of food. I think we all have. The price of food has been going up. Both grocery store food and restaurant food has been going up the last 3 or 4 or 5 years.
It has.
Now, I know that we used to be able to go into the Outback.
Right.
And I'm talking about 5 or 6 years ago, you could go into the Outback and you could get the Outback special for like $12.99.
Right.
And that would be a 6-ounce steak, salad,
baked potato,
maybe not iced tea. Iced tea would be different, added up to that. But you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's a pretty fair price. You go to a steakhouse like the Outback now, that's going to be $25 right there. I just mentioned, huh?
Right. You're going to start there.
I don't know if beef's like going up crazy. That's what I've heard.
Oh yeah, I bought a 4-pack of steaks on Saturday, and I did not get I paid like $65-$70 for a pork.
For 4 steaks?
For 4.
You can go out to eat for that.
Pretty much after I bought it, I was
somebody else cook and clean up for you there.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Well, and then I didn't cook them long enough. But anyway, so yeah.
Wait a minute, you miscooked, undercooked?
Man, I'm not. I'm the sweetest chef when it comes to preparing food.
Well, as they say, better to undercook than overcook. You can't go backwards on.
Very true.
on that. All right. So anyway, but I'm just saying that's just anecdotal, general observation. I have noticed the price of food, as I say, grocery store and maybe not. People are going, well, what about garden food? Well, maybe not. Maybe if you grow your own garden, have your own chickens and your cows, and if you quote farm, I guess you could get by cheaper. But even that, you hear about, the cost of food for animals.
To your point, yesterday, President Trump had a summit for farmers at the White House. And he had beef producers there. And there's a young lady that represented rice growers. And one of the things that she said that's hurting rice growers here in the United States is that she mentioned these countries, India, Thailand, Pakistan to a certain extent, are dumping rice in our markets. Trump turned to one of his economic advisors, said, I want you to make a list of the 3 countries she just said. We're going to put an extra tariff on those countries because they're dumping rice in this country. And so, what's happened so much over the last several years, we're importing so much more food from other countries. And yes.
But isn't that in the law, in the free enterprise system, that's supposed to make prices go down for the consumer, true?
It's supposed to. However, what it's doing, according to these farmers, this is why the president had this summit, it's killing the farm industry in this country.
Yeah. But you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
We used to hear the stories about agriculture being subsidized by the federal government. In other words, they'll pay a farmer not to grow.
Heavily subsidized.
Yeah.
Yes.
Food. Does that still go on?
It
I'm
does.
sorry, I'm ignorant.
It's in the Farm Bill, which is like every 4 or 5 year bill.
That's not how we treat any other industry, though. And I understand it's right or wrong. We don't subsidize the real estate market, right? We don't subsidize people who make automobiles.
Yeah.
Right.
Some Democrats have long claimed that we're subsidizing oil and gas, but the oil and gas people say it's a different thing. They're getting tax credits and tax breaks.
But I understand why you do it. I understand because you don't want when you're farming, you can't go out of business and then go back into business and then go out of business and go back into business. You have to have some consistency. And if, let's say, the weather, for example, creates a problem, well, it hurts the whole country if farmers en masse have to go out of business because of a drought or too much rain or too much. So yes, it is protectionism, so to speak, but it's done for the greater good.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily exactly in that free enterprise, free market that the chips fall where they may category.
Well, especially on that, when you talk about food, you don't want to become overly dependent on other countries.
Right.
And that's what Trump is trying to turn around now.
Yeah. Well, rice, we grow a lot of rice in the U.S.
We do, and this young lady representing rice growers was saying, but the rice farmers here are being hurt by the dumping of rice in this country by countries like India and Thailand. And Trump says, I'm going to do something about that.
Yeah, but don't we dump ours in other countries too, maybe?
I'm not sure because
soybeans.
I think it costs.
But that's different. That's different.
That's not America first. That's all we care about. Next story, Chris.
All right. I mean, we could very well talk about this until the end of the program. Jasmine Crockett wants another job.
Jasmine Crockett?
Yes, Representative Jasmine Crockett from
not Betty.
No, not Betty Crockett. Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett. Okay. Who is she, and what does she have to say?
All right, so
Chris?
she
Why are we
is the
talking about her?
representative from the Dallas area that
Okay.
has not been a fan of
U.S. House of Representatives.
Yes. She is not a fan of Donald Trump, not a
No,
fan of
she's
people like
not.
Ted Cruz
I
or
can
Governor
tell.
Greg Abbott. She is running for the U.S. Senate now, and she made that official yesterday on the last day of filing paperwork to qualify for a Senate campaign. Let's hear a little bit from the representative. Clip 12.
Turning Texas blue is what I want to talk to y'all about today. Now, there are those that say, ain't no way, we done tried it 50 kinds of ways. Let me be clear, y'all ain't never tried it the JC way. We used to telling us what I can't do, but they have no idea what Crockett's crew will do.
Now,
what's her first name?
Jasmine. People
Jasmine.
might remember her from clips that we've played of her saying things like this. Clip 13.
I know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. This ridiculous tyrant is trying to do everything that he can to break our democracy.
It's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard.
Timo Hitler in the White House right now that thinks that he is going to become the dictator of the United States.
Listen, I think her chances of winning a Senate seat in Texas amount to jack squat.
Another goodie.
I think we
for-
talked about
right.
his cousin.
Diddley
Squat.
Diddley.
Right. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, now I think Jasmine right there. She talks a lot. Listen, she talks a lot of smack.
Yes.
Right. She called Governor Abbott,
Hot Wheels.
who is in a wheelchair from
Governor Hot Wheels.
an
Hot
accident.
Wheels?
She called him Hot Wheels, making
man.
fun of his wheelchair.
Oh man.
And so she's going to run as a Democrat. First of all, Democrats rarely, if ever, win statewide elections in the state of Texas. Now, maybe that's going to change one day. Secondly, she is a bad candidate to put up for a statewide election. She might win in her district in Dallas, but she has no chance. Who's she going against? Cornyn?
Well, it depends on who wins the primary between Cornyn, Paxton, and Representative Wesley Hunt, who is a
Okay.
Trump guy.
Who's the favorite there? Paxton?
Probably Cornyn, just because he's the incumbent.
I've seen polls the last month or two showing Paxton ahead of Cornyn.
Yeah.
Right.
And Paxton is the AG.
Yes.
So he's won a couple times in a statewide.
Right.
I would be more than happy to be wrong here, but I do think her campaign needs to be taken seriously
Okay.
for a couple of reasons. Let's go back to the most recent Senate election in Texas. Ted Cruz beat Colin Allred by less than 10 points. She is a bigger name than Colin Allred, and Houston is a massive voting bloc.
She doesn't live in Houston,
No, but it's a Democrat stronghold.
but it always has been.
Yes. I mean,
What else you got, Chris?
well, you
got Jack or squat?
You throw in Houston, you throw in Dallas beyond just her district. You throw in San Antonio, you have a horse race.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she's
You
going to
calling
win.
her a horse, Chris?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying
Okay,
she's going to
she's
win.
a lady.
I'm just thinking it's a little too early for people to be going on television like people did on Fox this morning to say she's a Christmas gift for Republicans. She will say things that will be wrong, and she needs to be held accounted for. But I just don't go ahead and
She'll
assume.
say them, and you heard it. What did she say? And play that montage again. This is.
I know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. This ridiculous tyrant is trying to do everything that he can to break our democracy.
It's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard.
Timo Hitler in the White House right now that thinks that he is going to become the dictator of the United States.
So that's your gal, huh?
Oh, I'm not endorsing her. I'm saying,
just kidding.
I'm saying I don't think people should just go ahead
Right.
and assume it's safely in Republican hands because she is a media darling. Fox runs her every hour. She'll definitely be on MSNBC or CNN, and they will do their best to make her better than Beto and better than Colin Allred.
I was going to say, if a Democrat was going to win a statewide election in Texas, Beto O'Rourke probably had a better chance, and he did not succeed. So I don't see her. I'm sorry.
She doesn't have a chance.
No.
Yeah.
To your point, Chris, she could do well in parts of Houston, parts of Dallas. But you have those the collar counties,
Yes.
which tend to be really red, really conservative, and they get out and vote. She cannot carry those. I don't even think she can make a big dent there.
Yes, you just bingoed, because I did go back. Beto O'Rourke had a better race against Ted Cruz than Colin Allred did. Ted Cruz only beat Beto by 2 points, and when you look at the map of Texas, which obviously is massive, to Ray's point, it is largely red with some blue pockets. But, he didn't pick up anything really up here in the Dallas area. She will win more of the Dallas area than Beto did.
Yeah, that is close. I didn't realize Beto... what was his name?
Beto O'Rourke.
They spent a boatload of money.
They did.
A boatload of money.
They did. They went after Ted Cruz like crazy. This is not Cruz.
A more moderate candidate might have some chance in Texas.
Yeah.
She cannot win.
No.
Next story, Chris.
All right. What do I pick from? All right, there are some hearings today involving social media platforms and the harms that kids are experiencing by being allowed on there. Somebody out there calling out social media platforms is Louisiana Senator John Kennedy, who had this to say, clip 6.
The social media platforms could stop it, but a lot of them don't, because they're worried that it's going to impact the number of people that use their platforms, which will impact their ad revenues, which will impact their ability to buy a third summer home.
Who's he talking about?
Various platforms in general. We're talking about like Meta-owned stuff, Instagram, Facebook, X,
Instagram,
TikTok.
But what's the issue here? Why was Kennedy commenting on this in the first place?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Social media platforms are to blame for societal problems involving kids. They're spending too much time on there, and the stuff that they're witnessing, stuff that they're talking about, is detrimental to their mental health.
And they're concerned about predators using social media to befriend young people.
I would not want to be a parent. Mine are grown and gone, as they say, even though they appear. I'm just talking about my kids are in their 30s; they're adults. I don't know, Chris. You and Brent got kids.
I do, and it is a struggle.
I would not want to be a parent today to try to. You know what I'm saying? I'd probably shut down the whole thing. No phones, no nothing.
Yeah.
I mentioned to our story meeting this morning, Australia. There's a new law there. Under 16-year-olds cannot have an account. A Facebook account, social media.
I mean, it's a law.
It's a new law in Australia, the most strict in the world, actually.
Well, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Listen, you have all kind of regulations that prohibit minors from doing things.
How in the world, Fred, do they enforce that?
Yeah, I know.
Well, here's what they're going to do. Massive fines for people who run these platforms.
Oh, okay.
You need to be checking something like they do in Florida with regards to pornography.
Yeah.
That you have to identify yourself.
Right. To prove you're of age.
That's right. That's right. So it can be done.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to fine X and some of these platforms.
Listen, you got Instagram, you got TikTok, you got Facebook, you got YouTube, you got all these social media platforms, and a lot of it's innocent. I know that, but there are dangers out there that you hear about each and every day.
Even with video games, Roblox has been a big issue of concern. Florida is going after Roblox, which is a gaming platform, and the concern is sexual predators or perverts are finding kids on there and doing bad things.
Because you interact with people you don't know.
Yes.
And they pretend to be somebody they're not, right?
Mm-hmm. And that is actually another story we can get into in the next half hour if you wish.
Yeah. As I say, it's a dangerous world out there for kids and social media and the internet in general.
Right.
Yeah. Just so much out there that they can get into, and a lot of it's unbeknownst to the parents until they discover it. Right? All right. We'll be back with more of today's issues in 5 minutes. You're listening to American Family Radio. I'm Tim with Fred, Ray, and Chris. And we shall return. Stay with us.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
They will thrust a cell phone in your face. If you ask a question, they'll surround you with cameras. They'll scream at you. They'll try to get you to commit violence. I believe God is giving us a little bit of a glimpse into what life without Him would be like.
A Disciple's View with Todd Herman. Critical information from a faith-enriching perspective. Weekdays at noon Central on AFR. This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. The Justice Department is suing a Virginia school board, accusing it of denying Christian students rights in a controversial policy. Alexandria Hoff has more from Washington.
The lawsuit stems from an incident that happened in March. A group of boys was suspended after a female student who identifies as male recorded the boys making complaints about a female's presence in their locker room.
I'm so uncomfortable with a girl, not female, bro. Get out of here.
So despite recording not being allowed inside of locker rooms, the group of boys, they were the ones punished by the school for violating its controversial 80-20 policy, which recognizes gender identity over biological sex. With this new lawsuit, the Justice Department expresses that it was the school's policy that violated the male students' right to religious expression.
President Trump is kicking off his affordability tour in Pennsylvania tonight to tout the nation's economy to swing state voters. The president telling Politico in a new interview that he would grade his economy A+++, and says prices are coming down for Americans.
I inherited a mess. I inherited a total mess. Prices were at an all-time high when I came in. Prices are coming down substantially.
A recent survey from Fox News shows nearly 76% of voters view the economy negatively, up from the 67% who reported the same in July. Congressional Democrats pushing for a vote on a health care bill later this week as the party calls for an extension on the health care subsidies from the Affordable Care Act. Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky says he believes there could be a vote later this week on the Democrat bill, but he doesn't expect the legislation to pass.
One, we're $2 trillion in the hole, and two, it hadn't been working. For 15 years, we've been giving people money to buy insurance, Obamacare. President Obama promised the premiums would go down. Instead, the premiums have skyrocketed. Every time we give people a little more money, the premium goes up even higher.
The Supreme Court seems set to side with President Trump in his firing of Federal Trade Commissioner member Rebecca Slaughter. Lydia Hu has more.
Among those watching the arguments at the Supreme Court include the FTC's chairman, Andrew Ferguson. Ferguson says he agrees with the administration that the president should have more power over agencies, and he acknowledges that means if the government wins, Ferguson could also be fired by the next president or even this one.
The way our constitutional structure works is we vote for the president. He is supposed to be in charge of the government. If he's not in charge of the government, then we aren't in charge of the government.
Now, under current law, FTC commissioners serve 7-year terms and can only be removed for cause, things like inefficiency, neglect of duty, or malfeasance.
A school district has been given more time to respond to a letter from law firms. Chris Woodward explains.
First Liberty Institute sent the letter on behalf of LifeWise Academy. Attorney Jeremy Dice of First Liberty says LifeWise is an organization that's just trying to do some good.
LifeWise is a release time religious education program doing something that the Supreme Court has approved of since at least 1952, where they pick up students at campus because their parents, the students' parents, have decided they want to provide some religious education in addition to their regular education, too. So LifeWise picks them up at campus, takes them somewhere off campus, gives them a lesson about the Bible, and takes them back to school for the rest of the day.
Some people find this program objectionable, and in Everett, Washington, Dice says that school board members and community members have said some very vile things about LifeWise. According to Dice, a school board member accused LifeWise of indoctrinating kids with fascist theology. A community member at a school board meeting said that LifeWise was like the Nazis driving around Germany and picking up people.
They have some community fairs of organizations that can come and show what kind of program they are, and parents can choose to put them in those programs or not. But LifeWise has been excluded from those because they're religious. So we have sent a letter to the school board there to say it's time to make this stop.
The school district was initially asked to respond by December 5th, but the district has since requested an extension to December 12th. First Liberty honored that request.
And U.S. job openings barely moved in October. The Labor Department reports today that employers posted 7.67 million vacancies in October, close to September's 7.66 million. More news available online at afn.net and download the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
Thriving families, a powerful military, and a strong economy are the three pillars needed to rebuild our country.
Psalm 11:3 asks, if the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? In the video, 3 Steps to Rebuilding America, Walker Wildmon addresses that question.
If our military is not serviced, so to speak, it's not going to be ready to perform, and it ultimately becomes ineffective.
Find 3 Steps to Rebuilding America and much more at stream.afa.net.
Today's Issues continues on AFR with your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network. We got 24 and a half more minutes of this show. Thanks for listening to AFR. We're here every Monday through Friday. Fridays we have trivia. Yes, sir. Ray Pritchard.
To our friends out there in AFR land, I have been doing this program for, I don't know, years, but remotely, right? Most of the time.
Either in Kansas City, Dallas, or Florida.
Right. And I've been watching over these years, Tim goes and gets that popcorn, talks about it, right?
That's right.
Today, first time ever I've had the popcorn. I want everybody to know it's the real deal. This is some of the best popcorn I have ever had.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, did you see there? I was telling the truth the whole time.
That's right.
There you go.
Over all these years, this popcorn, they make it out here. I don't know who makes Phantom of the popcorn machine. Makes it every morning. And it's fresh. By 10 o'clock, it's fresh out there. 10 o'clock Central Time. And I just can't help myself. Got to get, as we talk about the world burning, I have to get my popcorn out.
That's right.
That's right.
Plus, it's good for you, right?
It is. I think it's good fiber, isn't it?
It is. That's what I'm saying.
It's a
I don't really know, but I'm agreeing.
Of course,
add things to it.
You'll learn, Ray, there is also an art to eating popcorn while hosting a national radio program. You have to count on Fred talking for at least 45 seconds.
That's right.
And not pitching the subject matter back to me because
That's right.
Isn't that right, Tim?
I got my cough box on, my chewing now, and I get to eat and enjoy my popcorn. Some would say, why can't you just wait till the show's over to enjoy your popcorn? And I would say to those people, mind your own business. That's right. Basically, get your own radio show, and then you can not eat popcorn. Go ahead, Chris.
I just want to say that Dr. Google says popcorn is a whole grain, and it's considered a healthy snack because it provides fiber and other nutrients from the entire kernel. It's classified as a whole grain source by dietary guidelines, similar to oatmeal or brown rice. And it is a cost-effective source of whole grains, according to the USDA, which is the federal government.
Can you take your voice up just another notch or two, Chris?
I sure can.
Exciting.
Then you'd be right in there to Pinocchio range.
But I'm with you. It's good for you.
Yeah, but that's a good point.
Don't worry about that salt. It's a whole grain.
What salt?
And a fiber.
Well, you need salt. Salt.
That's right.
You sure do.
You gotta have salt.
You got to be salt and light.
You
know what? Leave the lights on when we leave today.
That's right. That's
All right. So anyway, I don't know what kind of popcorn this is, what brand it is.
But it's good, folks.
It's good, absolutely.
It stays good, too. I eat it oftentimes at like 2 o'clock when my lunch wears off.
Popcorn's sort of a comfort for you.
It is. Yeah, it is.
All right, you're listening to Today's Issues. I wanted to ask you guys, Brent, put the microphone. Brent Creeley, our producer, Chris Woodward. These guys are in your 40s, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Brent, how many kids you got?
I got 2.
And what age? Daughters, right?
Yes, sir. 16 and 11.
Okay, come on, have that memory kick in.
I know, right?
Okay, you're a good case study for what I'm about to talk about. 16 and 11, your daughters. What about you?
16 and 12.
And you're so same age daughters or
daughters?
Okay, you guys got daughters, both of you. I was just watching this. There's a story on now about in Australia they have banned social media for 16 years and under, 16-year-olds and under. Now I don't know what that means exactly, except that you're gonna have to verify your age.
Yeah, the companies are going to be responsible for whom they give accounts to.
Okay, that hasn't been done in America so far, and I doubt it will be. However, we do have restrictions on minors right now for everything from driving to buying alcohol or tobacco, or I mean, there are all kind of things. Boating, there are all kinds of things that underage people can't do. Okay, so that's precedent has already been set. Now, I want to ask you two guys, as Christian fathers, Brent, what do you do with regard to social media and your daughters?
Well, Apple has a feature, if you will, that allows the kids or the parents to have a little control over that. And what I mean is, my kids can't download an app without our permission.
Oh, you know about it?
So yes,
on their phones,
right?
Okay.
And we go around every now and then and do like surprise inspections on phones and that kind of thing.
Okay. Isn't that a violation of their privacy?
Well, they're living in my house. I'm paying the bills, so
I knew the answer to that. Yeah, that's the answer my parents would have given, and I agree with that 100%. That's how some people. What do they do?
Well, we have Android devices, phones and tablets, but similar to what Brent just mentioned there are limits as to when they can use it, how much they can use it. They do have to come to us. Mom often is the one that they have to go to for permission or access to things. And we have pulled the phone. My wife has done more of this than I have, but we have looked at text messages, and it's very concerning. Things that I didn't want my parents to know I was doing, I've now had to realize, hey, my parents were right all along. You think when you're 16, 17 years old and you're the smartest person in the world that your parents are just a bunch of fuddy-duddies. But then when you actually have kids, you realize mom and dad had something.
Oh, yeah.
Along.
Every parent has said this, and every kid's heard this down through the history of mankind. Just wait till you're a parent one day.
Yeah.
And you'll understand. Go ahead.
No, in Australia, the law just took effect today, where it is December 10th. Social media companies are required to verify users' ages using technologies like government IDs, facial recognition, or behavioral analysis. And those companies face...
They're serious about this.
Yes.
Australia is.
Yes. And those companies face fines of up to $49.5 million for non-compliance.
Yeah, so it's going to work.
Yep.
It's going to work. Now, kids will figure out some way around it somehow, probably, but you can't not enforce good laws because somebody might break them.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is I commend Australia for this. I think it's appropriate.
Yeah. It could be the first time that that Rahm Emanuel has agreed with you about something.
Now, oh really?
He's in the news this moment saying the U.S. should follow Australia's youth social media.
Now, let me ask you this. So, now I haven't thought this thing through 100%. I'm just reacting on what you're telling me. I do think it's a good idea for the country just to say 16 and under, you're ineligible for using social media. It doesn't mean they can't use the internet at all.
That's right.
It just means they can't use certain social media interaction sites that require that would put them at risk. Is what they're saying. Right? All right. Well, we'll see. See how that works. So Rahm Emanuel, the Democrat.
And
from Chicago.
He's seemingly looking for things to get himself in the headlines talking about.
Why he wants to run for president?
That is the scuttlebutt, which is another word some people may not understand. That's the word on the street that Rahm Emanuel might be looking to run for president. I say that he's looking for things to get in the news about because in recent weeks he wrote an op-ed that the Wall Street Journal picked up on in which he praised Mississippi for its education reforms and said Democrats need to come around to the idea of education reform because we're losing it in the classrooms. So it's second time in a couple of months that he's made kind of a center-right statement.
All right, next story.
All right, let's mention this real quick. Erica Kirk, she's been doing some media appearances, and she's talked about her life after Charlie Kirk was shot and killed, of course. One of the things that Charlie was known for is that come Sundays, he would turn his phone off and just focus on the family, so to speak. He wouldn't do any kind of work, and she also does that with her life here, and she's talking in the news in this particular clip here about how honoring the Sabbath will help transform your life and really kind of get you to focus on things that matter. Clip 9.
he saw the fruit of what it was like to actually detach from the world, stop the noise, stop the scrolling, and just put pause on everything and focus on your family. And he was, at first, it was started with an hour, 2 hours, but then once he fully incorporated it into his life, he totally elevated. He became a next level husband, which I didn't even think was possible because he was already so incredible to me and the babies.
That is something I think we as a society, you might be in a church service and somebody says something about it used to be the Lord's Day, but then we all go out to eat and do all kinds of things, and we don't really give the Lord his time. Is there something, Ray, that we are missing by not doing more on Sundays or the Sabbath?
Well, there's two parts to this, Chris. One, kudos to Erica for talking about Charlie that way. Kudos to him for what he did. It's the other day, we down in Florida, some of our one branch of the family came down to spend a few days with us, and I was struck walking into our living room because we've been having fun parties and hanging out, ride the golf cart, the whole thing, Yeah. I go into the living room, and there's 6 members of my family, flesh and blood, who I love. And what were they doing when I walked in? Every single one had their head down, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
iPad, iPhone, whatever. So I did the only thing a wise man could do. I grabbed my phone and looked at it too, because that's the world in which we're living.
Yeah.
Which means I think Erica's point, your point, is exactly right. There needs to be a time during the week when we cut off the outside distractions. I can remember when Christians wouldn't go to parties on Sunday afternoon, sometimes wouldn't go out to eat on Sunday afternoon. It's hard to believe there were Christians, evangelical Christians, who would not watch an NFL game on Sunday afternoon. You can criticize if you want to some of those rules, but they were at least onto something, weren't they?
Yeah.
That there needs to be a time when we pull back from the incredible distractions of this frenetic age and focus on what matters.
I'm guilty of all those things this week.
Well, and there was a time not too long ago where high schools didn't allow sports games on Sundays,
right.
That sort of thing. I heard
that's still true here.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I heard the Erica Kirk interview this morning, and she said they decided on Sundays that basically he put his cell phone away. If there was an emergency, somebody could get in touch with him. I've often said I grew up at a time when there weren't cell phones. We survived.
Mm-hmm.
When you went for a drive in the car. If somebody needed to get you, they had to wait until you got to destination somewhere.
Yeah.
We survived.
I think a lot cell phone usage, for example, is talking about, quote, staring at your screen. I think a lot of that is not necessarily people disengaged from each other. It's that they're keeping up with the news, for example. I'm not saying it's not a good idea to do what Charlie Kirk did. Don't misunderstand me. And put your phone down, put it away. In fact, I've started trying to just keep it in the car when I go into a restaurant or something like that. That way I'm not tempted to use it. Go ahead.
Tim, how hard would it be for you? Because I've got my own answer here.
Yeah.
How hard would it be for you to set aside your cell phone and let's say internet usage for a whole day? It would be really hard for me.
Yeah, if you're used to using it a lot,
it'd be really hard for me to do that.
No, it would be. It would be something you'd have to consciously think. Okay, now here you go.
Right.
Can't do that. Disengage from that. So I think, like right now, I got the screen up here. Of course, I'm looking at the news. Right, we're talking about the news of the day, so that's part of it. But yeah, now I tell you what, going outdoors is a good idea. I think whether you go for a walk, a bike ride, I'm not a big guy to go camping, but some people go camping. Also fishing, going out just playing basketball with your kids or something like that. Or I'm just talking about going out. If you go outside, you're less likely to be tempted with that phone or the internet, having your neck bent over looking at a screen. So golf, I enjoy golfing. Well, I rarely look at my phone at all during, when you're out.
Sure.
Yep.
Golfing, you're outside, you're in nature, and you're enjoying that. So I say getting outside and doing things like when you can, when the weather's to get you away from looking at a screen all the time.
Yes,
so.
Absolutely.
But I tell you, these news sites, especially, I'm a news junkie. And so the New York Post app and the Fox News app, they're changing all the time. So you want to know what's going on in the world. So you're always, you know what I'm saying? I'm guilty, guilty as charged. But anyway, to the whole discussion here about disengaging from the, electronic media, you do need to make time to do that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Something I've done here recently, and it's worked for me, is I don't take my phone with me in church because, number one, it's going to go off. Even if I somehow mute it or whatever.
That's embarrassing, Chris.
You're still going to hear sting and whatever breaking news.
You got to turn it down.
But also, too,
you're going to scroll during church. I don't do it.
If you're like me and you sometimes are without your actual paper Bible and you're having to use your phone for the verse,
that is true.
Then you get inundated. That's when the devil hits you up with text messages and news alerts and whatnot. So I have used that.
I agree. So just leave in the car.
Yeah.
Leave in the car.
You'll be less likely to be interrupted there.
That's the best thing to do. The Bible talks about doing away with things that cause you to sin, right? So get away from them.
Yeah, when I go to the gym, I leave the phone in the car.
Yeah.
Just get a break.
There you go. I mean, just leave it in the car. That way you're not tempted with it.
That's right. That's right.
So,
I'm amazed there are people at the gym. They go in to exercise.
Now, you don't scroll while you're riding your bike, do you, Ray? Come on.
Google
no,
glasses.
Please tell me you don't. How do you? Huh?
A few times I've done that. It's not the safest way to ride a bike, though, right? It's not. It's not really safe to do
You
that.
pull over. You got to pull over.
You got to pull over to do that. That's right.
If you got to text somebody
That's
back.
right.
Especially driving a bike on ice.
On ice, right? Please.
Yeah.
Don't text and ride your bike on ice, please.
That's very good.
I've tried that. It doesn't work.
Yeah. All right. You're listening to Today's Issues on American Family Radio. Today's Issues is the name of the show on American Family Radio.
Just one more thing.
Tim, Fred, and Ray, and Chris, go ahead. One more thing.
It scares me, driving in the car, and somebody's approaching me.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the car alone, and they're screaming. They're talking on their phone.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
To someone. That scares me.
Yeah.
Because I know they're not focused. And I will kind of ease over to the right to make sure, because I've seen it. They're having a
distraction,
a very aggressive conversation with somebody, and that's just another thing.
Another thing, have you noticed out that people will be having an earpiece in, and they're talking like they're insane?
Yes,
right. That's weird looking, right?
That is
40 years ago. That person was insane, and today it's he's just on a call.
That's right.
They're absolutely talking like this.
Yeah,
right. Not in a quiet voice.
I know.
But just talking right out loud to nobody.
Mm-hmm. Walking down the street.
Walking down the street,
right.
yeah.
They look insane.
Sometimes I do see people with like an apparatus on their head, and instead of the Bluetooth earphones or whatever, some people have like an honest-to-God pair of headphones, almost like what we are wearing, and they're walking around like they're going to call in a football play, and they're talking to somebody at the meat section of the grocery store. That seems odd to me. But
yep. All right, next story, Chris.
Well, this was a big event in American history. And
what was?
On this day in history, in 1965, the animated special A Charlie Brown Christmas premiered on American television and instantly became a Christmas classic. Is there something else that we always watch this around Christmas. It's a tradition in our house. Is there something else that you guys watch, or do you remember watching this as a kid growing up?
Well, we all do. In this room, yeah. I mean, you started in what year?
1965.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I would have
And they have in that Charlie Brown's Christmas at one point reading from Luke chapter 2, right?
It is the holiest moment on television when it airs on network television, because Linus gives the Christmas story. The thing that always stood out to me with this is we hear a lot of people say, Christmas is too commercialized, and that was the heart of the story back then, and that was in the 60s. Like,
right.
You would think that, like, we ruined Christmas in the 2000-somethings, but it apparently was a problem 60 years ago.
Well, 1965, it debuted. I think it's still showing today, right?
Right.
They do. It's mostly on Apple, but
I mean, you can
we've
watch
got
it
on
probably
DVD.
on YouTube or something like that, but I'm talking about on network TV. It used to come on Thanksgiving night.
Oh, that's right.
Huh?
That's right. I saw it then. Yeah.
She used to come on Thanksgiving night. TV broadcast. I'm scrolling to find out information here.
I can hear the music. I can hear the background music to that.
The Peanuts theme?
Yeah.
Anyway, the main point of the discussion is that it did include the gospel reading from Luke. I don't know that you get away with that today on network TV.
Which the network, even back then, wanted to delete it. And Charles Schultz,
Charles Schultz said no?
He said no. He said it's got to be in there.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, this is two big moments in the 60s on national television where Scripture was read, because there was that moment in 68, I think it was, where it was one of the moon missions, where they read from the book of Genesis from space.
Oh, you believe in that moon mission stuff?
I sure do,
Chris.
I sure do. People that don't
Chris,
believe
you ever heard of Arizona?
They don't know diddly squat.
Area 51. We know the truth.
Or Nevada or Arizona.
Wherever it is.
That's where it happened.
But that's true. They read Genesis 1.
If you did that today, there would be an X campaign and somebody being canceled and boycotted by the end of.
You did what?
If you quoted Scripture on national television.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
Yeah,
actually, Freedom From Religion Foundation is throwing a hissy fit right now because the Secretary of Labor is going to have a non-denominational prayer service tomorrow.
You're killing it with is it colloquialisms that you're using today? You said a hissy fit.
Hissy fit.
Diddly squat.
Jack squat. And did you say scuttlebutt?
He did say scuttlebutt too, Chris. You're on it, man.
Tomorrow, cattywampus. Tune in. I'll use it randomly.
Cattywampus. So anyway, we listen. Christmas season in America. We don't ever need to. I know that it's that Christmas is celebrated by a lot of non-Christians. But for us Christians to keep the emphasis on Christ reveals to the world the real meaning of Christmas, which leads people to think about eternal things and to think about who Jesus Christ was. So you don't ever need to accept the idea of secularizing Christmas.
Right. That's right.
And making it just a holiday. Christmas is special because it's the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. And we need to, there's all kind of trappings surrounding that. Gift giving's fine and, that kind of thing, visiting with family and friends and having parties. But the main thing is the main thing, and that is that Jesus came to the earth and we celebrate his birth. Amen?
Amen.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right, we got 1 minute left, Chris. You got maybe a...
I do.
What do you got?
I Googled top ordered last-minute Christmas items. If you're like me and you've not finished everything yet and you're scrambling as to what you're going to buy,
I'm scrambling.
The top ordered last-minute Christmas items right now are headphones, robes, candles, scarves, cookies, wine, coffee, and gift cards for the person that you don't know what to buy for.
Gift cards always appropriate.
Yeah, gift cards work for everybody, right? And everybody likes them pretty much.
You can spend it on what you want.
That's right.
They even make holders now for like cards for a gift card.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gift card.
Absolutely.
Just don't buy a gift card for a company that is 100 miles from your recipient. You know what I'm saying?
We have some restaurant gift cards here in the Tupelo area for restaurants that we don't have in the Tupelo area.
That's what I'm saying. You do that. That makes the person wonder, what kind of message are they sending me here?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to Cheesecake
They
Factory.
got me a gift that I really can't use.
Right.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thanks to Fred and Ray, Brent Creeley, our producer, who was also a guest on the show today. Let's see. Frank Turek was with us. Is that it? I think that's it. We thank you for listening. We hope you keep listening to American Family Radio throughout the day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Wildmon, president of American Family